Relationships are they're such a huge part of our lives, right? A journey of incredible highs, some pretty low lows, and a whole lot of unexpected turns. Today, we're going to map out that entire journey, from that very first spark all the way to building a connection that can actually last. I think we've all been there, wondering, what is the secret? Is it just dumb luck? Is it all about chemistry or finding that one perfect person, the one? But what if the secret isn't about finding the perfect person at all, but about building the right skills? So here's the big idea, the main takeaway from all of this. Successful relationships, they aren't problem-free. No way. They're just way better at handling the problems when they pop up. It's all about navigation, not about achieving some kind of perfection. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Every single relationship, good or bad, starts somewhere. It all begins with that initial spark, that first connection. Maybe you're in a new city or new job, or maybe you're just looking to expand your circle. It's funny. The formula for making new friends can actually be pretty simple. It really does start with taking that deep breath and stepping out of your comfort zone to just strike up a conversation. If you hit it off, great. You spend more time together. And that last point is so important. It's a two-way street. Making other people feel welcome is one of the most powerful ways to build your own connections. And this quote just nails it, right? Making connections is an active process. Just sitting around and waiting for people to come to you, well, it almost never works. The real magic happens when you make the choice to put yourself out there, even if it feels a little bit scary. All right, so you've made that connection. The spark is there, the excitement is high. But what happens when that amazing honeymoon phase crashes into the reality of everyday life? Well, that brings us to our next stage, the grind. Let's be honest, we all do this. We go into a new relationship with this perfect movie playing in our heads, a vision of just effortless harmony and perfect understanding. That's the expectation. But then reality hits, and it looks a little different. Instead of that effortless harmony, you're suddenly negotiating who takes out the trash. Instead of endless quality time, you're trying to build a budget together. And this gap, right here, between what we expect and what's real, is one of the very first major tests for any couple. So how do you bridge that gap? Well, it's not about magic. It's about doing the work with some really practical steps. It's about having honest conversations, actually dividing up the chores, creating a budget, and literally scheduling time for each other. It's all about building a system that actually works for both of you. Look, no matter how great your plan is, every relationship is going to hit some stormy weather. It's just inevitable. Conflict is going to happen. The key isn't trying to avoid the storm, but learning how to navigate through it together. Okay, this is a tough one. Dealing with a partner's anger. It's so hard. The absolute key is to talk about it calmly when things are neutral, not in the middle of a fight. Suggesting professional help isn't an attack, it's a sign of support. And agreeing on a timeout during arguments, that can literally save things from spiraling out of control. And it's so important to remember this. Most huge forest fires start with a tiny spark. It's the same with arguments. So many major conflicts begin with something really small, a simple miscommunication, where one person thinks one thing and the other hears something totally different. And all of this, it brings us to what I think is the most powerful tool in the entire relationship playbook. It's the balance between our logical head and our emotional heart. Seriously, mastering this balance is the secret to navigating pretty much any challenge a relationship can throw at you. I mean, you can feel it, can't you? That constant push and pull inside all of us. You've got that rational voice that analyzes and plans, and then you've got the emotional one that feels and connects. The goal isn't for one to win. It's for them to finally learn how to work together. And when that balance gets thrown way off, that's when the real problems start. If you lean too hard into logic, you can come across as cold, like every conversation is a transaction. But if you're all emotion, you risk making impulsive choices based only on how you feel in the moment. Neither extreme is really healthy. Okay, here's the perfect example of this head versus heart thing in action. Picture this. Your partner comes to you after a terrible day. Your logical brain immediately wants to jump in with solutions, right? A 5-point plan to fix it. But so often, what their emotional heart actually needs is just to be heard. They need support, not a spreadsheet. Figuring out which one is needed in that moment, that is a master-level relationship skill. But sometimes, the challenges get so big that you end up at a major crossroads. A moment where you have to make a really fundamental decision about the entire future of the relationship.
And man, this is just one of the absolute toughest places to be in life, isn't it? The uncertainty, the sheer weight of the decision, it can feel completely and totally overwhelming. There's no easy answer here, but there is a way to think about it clearly. So, how do you know? How do you really know when it's time to keep fighting for it and when it's time to walk away? It's not about one single fight or a bad week. It's about being brave enough to look at the bigger picture. Well, there's no magic 8 ball, but you can think through it logically. You have to look at these 4 key things. Are you just stuck in a loop having the same fights over and over again? What are your true feelings for each other underneath all the conflict? Is there a real, honest-to-goodness potential for change? And maybe most importantly, what is the long-term impact on your own mental health?
And hey, this isn't just for romantic partners. The exact same logic applies to our friendships, too. Some friendships are just hitting a rough patch. They just need an honest conversation to clear the air. But others are genuinely toxic. They consistently drain your energy and well-being. And in those cases, the healthiest thing you can do is prioritize your own mental health and cut ties. So, when you boil it all down, if there's just one thing you remember from all of this, let it be this. A great relationship isn't a prize you win or some finish line you cross. It's a living, breathing thing that requires constant attention, constant adjustment, and a continuous act of balancing your head and your heart. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a little homework, something to really think about. Take a look at the key connections in your own life. Which one needs you to bring a little more calm, rational thought to the table? And which one needs you to lead with a little more empathy, more support, more heart? The answer, I bet, is going to be different for each one.